A week after the city clerk was fired and less than a month before the general election, Grand Rapids officials are talking about ways to make sure the process doesn't get in the way of voters.
It did last year. This was the scene last November at a number of polling places in the city, and people waiting hours to cast their ballots. 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFurgey is live in studio tonight with how the task force hopes to change all that. Joe?
You said a number of Grand Rapids voting precincts during the 2012 election had some serious problems. The mayor put a task force together. This 34-page report is the end result. It was not the kind of scene that promotes faith in the democratic process. Long lines of frustrated voters during the 2012 presidential election. Some of the problems caused by space issues, some caused by lack of equipment, and some caused by confused voters and undertrained election workers.
We feel that more effort needs to be made in the training of our personnel.
James Brady and John Smentanka, both former U.S. attorneys for the Western District of Michigan, co-chaired the task force. They announced a long list of recommendations, from relocating troubled precincts to increasing the number of standby election workers that can respond to areas experiencing heavy voter turnout. Other problems the task force uncovered involved a lack of equipment, everything from voting booths to pencils. Much of the planning, training, and supply aspects of holding an election fall to the city clerk. In this case, Lori Parks, fired by the city commission last week for a variety of reasons. The task force members warned not to blame the problems on one person or factor.
And honestly, Mayor, even if you had said we want somebody to beat up, we couldn't do it for you because there are so many different things that focus together, that come together.
Some of the solutions presented are simple and cheap. And, others may cost the city.
You're going to see how good of politicians we are because we punted right back to you in terms of the finances. It is how that you're going to pay for some of this, but we don't have a clue.
Brady and Smentanka recommended another task force look at ways to make changes at the state level in legislation to make voting easier.